Hi, this is Eric, and welcome to my video series. Okay, so in the previous video, we saw how SSRS we created reports, and we did create two reports. One of them being it's just straight from a query string, the other one we use the store procedures, and went ahead and add these parameters here. Okay, so the next step on this video, I'm going to show you to configure a reporting server. To do that, you go to your search and type report. Okay, you're gonna see this report server configuration manager. Click on it. You're gonna prompt you, would you like to allow this app to make changes? Just go ahead and say yes. And the very first window you're gonna see is this one here. Okay, and probably if you haven't configured, I'm assuming you've already installed. So here is where you have your report server. You're going to be by default, and this is the instance, report server instance, SSRS. Just go ahead and click connect. And this is the window you're going to get. This is report server configuration manager. Okay. And in here, you're going to see the instance. Okay, the first one here, this is report server status, and you're going to see it has been started already. That's the status of it. You can either stop and start again. And you can see that under services. I won't go there really today. But if the report is not running, if the report server is down, you get a call from the user, your customer, for us to go ahead and check if the status is up and running. If it's not, go ahead and start it. And I won't read all this information really. You can pause the video and read. I haven't changed anything in here. The most important thing is here. If you haven't set up this app, you're gonna have to go to advanced and do the setup. And you can see there is a report server. The default port is 80. I just left everything as it is, and this is really my report server. Okay, this is the URL. This, remember I told you the user is gonna be going through the browser. So this is it. Okay, everything is installed on this server. That's what we see here. So if you click this link, it's gonna take me to a browser, and I should be able to access. And then the database. If you haven't done this, you're gonna go and configure or change the database and configure. If you don't see anything, that means this has not been done. But you see this, the database server. Okay, and you can read here, the report server stores all report server content and applications data in a database. Use this page to create or change the report server or update database connection credentials. So you can go ahead and change if you want to change, or you're going to see the option to create a database if you don't. And you can name this database. This report server database is exactly the same I showed you guys in here. That's exactly the same. And you can go ahead and configure that. If you don't know, let me know. These are the credentials. They just leave them by default. You can see SQL Server Reporting Services. Web portal URL. This is a nice portal. This is exactly the same. The only difference is one of them is really friendly. This is the one which is friendly. And again, if you don't see, if you go to you have to put your server name. It can be localhost .80 and report. This is gonna be really good, and I'll show you how to find that again. I'm gonna go back here, but if you go here to properties on the report, you're gonna see this localhost. This is exactly the same localhost. You have a server name and URL. So localhost is you can access within you are really in the server, but if you're outside the server, if you go back to our diagram, if you're accessing this from the client workstation, you may need to change that to localhost to the computer name and the port number. Okay, so let me go back to my configurations here. Email settings, I haven't set up anything yet, but this is where when you subscribe to the email, you can put maybe this is do not reply. SSRS email at maybe organization.dmk.com, something like that. And the SMTP, maybe it's smtp dot maybe mail dot dmk.com. This is just an example I'm giving you here, but SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is the protocol which helps you to send or receive the email. So in your organization, you're gonna have to ask for from a system admin, and you're gonna put that information if you be sending information. For the sake of learning, I just leave it open, and you can check here what it says. To use report server mail, specify the existing SMTP server and email account that can send email from that server. So right now the sender email, I'm just gonna say this. So when the user get, they know they don't reply or they don't have to reply. But if you have like a group email, they will like your customers to respond to, or maybe you can put your email. It will go through, and then you have to specify the reporting server. I won't specify that really. And this is acting up. I think it needs me to set up. We have to click apply, and I don't want to. So anyways, whenever you make these changes, you may need to go back and hit apply here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and exit. I don't want that. Oops, I exited everything, but that's fine. I don't want to make any changes really. So that's mail configurations. I'm gonna go to next account. If you're on an execution account, this is important, especially if you are moving this server. Let's say you're upgrading or you're moving to the latest version to another server. You may need to back up the keys and all that, so that whenever you get all the settings and everything, if you're migrating this database here to a new server or a new instance, you may need that. You can do the backup and all that, and it helps you. It will prompt you to do put the backup keys and all that. So file share. Remember when I was telling you about subscription here? File share. So you may need to set up an account that has access to that file share. Okay. Most of the times you're gonna be in a network share, and that network share maybe you may use a service account, a general account. So whenever the report is being sent, you make sure that it has a right access, right access. That way you can write or you can put that report in that share. I won't go much here into this. It's out of the scope, but this is the way you can register or you can connect this to a Power BI server and all that. But all you need for email subscription is only these settings. Now let's go back to this web URL. This is one which is not really friendly. So if you click that, I click that link, I'm gonna get something like that. Okay, yeah, it's just resolution. Okay, so you're gonna see something like this. That's the URL, and even if you type here localhost, it will work. And to me, this is not that friendly, and it doesn't have a lot. But as of right now, guess what? We don't have that report deployed. These are other reports I deployed way back when from the previous classes I teach. We don't have that, which is what you're gonna see if you deploy this report. You're gonna see, I'm gonna minimize this for now. You're gonna see, you see that target folder? That's the folder name, EHR notification. And you can change this to just EHR really. And that's what you're gonna see here. And then when you click the folder name, that's not what I need. This guy, when you click the folder name here, you're gonna see the report and you can execute. So now we don't have that report. I'm not gonna click any of these. I don't wanna waste much of your time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and deploy the report. But before that, I will show you another route because we're still in the configuration. This web portal, that's the one I prefer really. You can do a lot. You see this configure URL to access web portal. Click advanced to define multiple URLs to specify additional parameters on the URL. So if you haven't created this, you're gonna get an option to create or apply or something like that. But if I click this, watch, it's more friendly to Scala and it does a folder. You can manage a lot of things, even the security. Now I do have few things. You do have data sources. Won't go to much details on that. And then we do have whereas folders, you can see these are folders. Again, if you click in here, you're gonna see the actual reports. Okay, so this is so I prefer this more than the other one. So let's go ahead. So that's all really how we need really what we need in order to configure. Everything is under report server configurations, and you do all the configurations in here. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here for now, and then we're gonna go ahead and see how to deploy the report into the reporting server. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.